Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, stepped out to support his friend, photographer, and acclaimed filmmaker, Misan Harriman, as he premiered his new documentary, Shoot the People. People magazine has the story. I, of course, have thoughts on the documentary as well as the outing, and Prince Harry looked good. He looks very happy and refreshed, and we're going to get into that, all that and more. So let's get started. Hey y'all, thanks so much for clicking on my video, and if you're returning, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about Prince Harry's outing with Misan Harriman to support the premiere of Shoot the People, a documentary by Misan Harriman. We're going to talk about that outing. We're also going to talk about the documentary. Before we do, if you haven't already, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. So first I want to spend a little bit of time talking about the documentary first, and then I want to get into the outing that we saw Prince Harry in, as well as a statement released by his spokesperson.
Boy, the images of apartheid South Africa shook me to my core. And then I went on a journey of understanding what it all...
It's going to be the biggest protest ever. All this is part of the journey.
that needs to be fed like a plant.
So there's a review of Shoot the People, the documentary by Misan Harriman in The Guardian. And so I'm going to pull just a couple of excerpts from it. It says, as it stands, Harriman emerges from this film as a talented, self-taught photographer, articulate, fluent, and candid about his wealthy and privileged background, which allowed him to witness a certain kind of British overclass racism up close. He was making a good living in the financial world before his picture of an anti-racist demonstration went viral after being retweeted by Martin Luther King III, son of Martin Luther King Jr., an interviewee here. Harriman's new career was born. His short film, The After, starring David Oyelowo, was nominated for an Oscar in 2024 and might well have won, in my view, if Wes Anderson had not been included, somewhat against the newcomer spirit of the short film category. We duly see Harriman attend the Oscar ceremony, photographing the pro-Palestinian demonstrations in the streets outside, though it has to be said that Harriman, like many gifted and successful people, is not without conceit. We see him walking thoughtfully in the fields near his home with his dog, as he says in voiceover, the trees don't give a damn about the Academy Awards, neither does my dog. They do care about what sort of human being I am. What the dog and the trees, the film's most moving moment is Harriman's powerful tribute to his own inspirational figure, South African and anti-apartheid photographer Peter Magubane. That is the end of this review. It says Shoot the People is in UK and Irish cinemas from July 10th. That's incredible. Okay, so guys, if you guys see that, please let me know your thoughts. And if I can get access to it, I'm going to see if it's available here in the US at any point. If not, I'm going to use my VPN. And I'll definitely let you know what I think. Y'all know how much I loved The After. So I'm sure, being that this is, in my opinion, very value aligned with myself. And also, Misan Harriman is just a talent that I don't feel we truly speak about enough. He does not get nearly enough flowers, and we are seeing what, in my opinion, is the very beginning of him. I just feel like his output is going to continue to be monumental and is only going to continue to grow and get better with time and gain audiences. So with that said, if you have seen this documentary, let me know what you think. And once I'm able to see it, I will definitely let you know my thoughts in a royal review. Thank you so much for watching the SharionSade YouTube channel. I appreciate you watching my content. If you haven't already, please don't forget to go ahead and like this video by hitting the thumbs up. Please don't forget to subscribe by hitting the subscribe button. And don't forget to comment along the way. If you feel so inclined, please don't forget to share so that more people can find us. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Now let's get back to the video. This article is in People magazine, written by Becca Longmire and Simon Perry, titled Prince Harry Happy to be Back in the UK as he makes surprise visit to London premiere. The Duke of Sussex stepped out to support his and Meghan Sussex's close friend and longtime photographer, Misan Harriman, at the premiere of his documentary, Shoot the People. I'm going to start right here. We got a close-up of Harry. We'll see the full image in just a second as we scroll down, but I want to start right here. Prince Harry looks good. He looks real good. He's handsome. That's obvious. But I'm actually just talking about he looks very happy and content and comfortable. Look at the color in his cheeks. This man is getting color. He's been spending a lot of time outdoors. He looks good. His hairline, his beard, his eyebrows have all been manicured. He just looks good. Eyes clear. He just looks real fresh. That kind of refreshed when you've done your routine to get you back in the groove. That's what I call it. So basically what I mean is, whenever I'm stuck in a rut, or I've been in my routine for too long, like going to work, or I don't work anymore, but like kind of going my day-to-day tasks, doing my school stuff, doing my, my pet stuff, working on my business, whenever I've just been kind of doing the routine for a long time. And I realized like, oh shit, I've been like 4 weeks into this same routine. I haven't done anything. I need to kind of like get back in the groove. I need to refresh. I do my 3-prong combo. That 3-prong combo brings out the best in me. As a matter of fact, every time I do this, I have a day where I do my 3-prong combo. I get so many crazy compliments about like, oh, Sharion, you look so happy. You look so refreshed. You look so, and I'm like, thank you. Like the glow is evident because it's imminent. Like it works. It just gets me back into like a lust for life kind of energy. And it just makes me so happy. And I look really refreshed. So the reason I bring that up is because whatever his combo is, whatever his, refresh combo is, he clearly did that. He looks good. So for me, y'all let me know, what is your combo or what is your routine to get you out of a rut that just brings that life back into your spirit, that brings that energy back into you? For me, it's starting off with at least a 1-hour workout, like an intense 1-hour workout, panting, sweating. My shirt has to be completely wet. And then I'm like, okay, I did the thing today. That workout followed by a nice hot bath of Epsom salt, lemons, and ginger, sometimes with rose petals and lavender, but I usually leave the rose petals because it just feels a little too fancy. So I'll do like lavender with a couple of sliced lemons and Epsom salt, and I'll soak in that for about 25 minutes. And the water has to be so hot that my skin is just at the point of possibly peeling, and then I get out. But nice bubble bath followed by or preceded by a heavy, intense workout. And then I immediately jet off to Woodhouse Plano. Gotta be Plano. I love Woodhouse Spa. It's one of my favorite spas in the world. I thought about doing like some kind of content around Woodhouse, but I don't want it to become too inundated with people. Then it's hard to get an appointment. I'm sorry. It's so selfish, but it is what it is. Go to one of the other ones. Don't go to Plano. That's my favorite. But Woodhouse Plano is so freaking amazing. I spend at least 3 to 4 hours there doing services. After the workout, then the hot bath, then I go get like a hot stone massage with the CBD oil, particular interest around my knees and ankles, because your girl be cracking. And when I'm working out, I start hearing the little noises. I'm like, oh, let me go get my massage. Nice hot stone massage on my back, intense pressure, facial, scalp massage, the whole 9, foot massage, pedicure, manicure, the whole thing. Come out of there and get sushi. It's always sushi post Woodhouse and intense workout. That combo puts me back in my body. I feel the best I've ever felt. And don't let, while I'm at the spa, my husband get my car washed and detailed. Because he's done that a couple of times where he'll be like, oh, I'll drive you to the spa and I'll run errands. Or I'll come back and get my massage and then blah, blah, blah. So like he'll coordinate with me and take my car to get it detailed. And I'm bad about letting my car get dirty because my car is navy. It's like a bluish, purplish, blackish color. And depending on what the sun is doing, it brings out a different color. But sometimes you can't see any of those because it's just covered in dust. And that's a me problem. And so there have been times where I've gone to the spa and when I come out, I'm like texting him like, are you still here? Should I wait for you at the front? Blah, blah. And he'll pull up and my car is detailed. Oh my God. And then takes me to get sushi. I'm telling you, it brings out the best in me. And usually after the spa, take my bun down so my curls are popping and I'm just feeling fresh and free. My eyebrows are popping, eyelashes popping, the whole thing. I just feel good and fresh. That kind of glow that's like, I don't want to cover this up with makeup. I'm going to pop it on some mascara and keep it going. And I just feel my best self. That's my refresher. That's my 3-prong combo. What is yours? When you need to get back into the groove, what do you do? Drink wine? Do you get a massage? Do you play with pets? What do you do to just get yourself back in your body? Anyway, that's my combo. Whatever Prince Harry's is, he clearly did that. He looks good. He is glowing. Anyway, let's continue. Seeing old friends will do that to you. Prince Harry supported a good friend as he stepped out in London on Monday, July 6th, marking his first outing of his latest UK visit. The Duke of Sussex was pictured smiling alongside Misan Harriman at the premiere of his new documentary, Shoot the People. I want to know more about that. Harriman also has been close, to Harry and his wife, Meghan Sussex, for years, with the photographer and filmmaker taking the photo in which the couple confirmed they were expecting baby number 2, Princess Lilibet Diana, in February 2021. Harriman also accompanied Harry and Meghan on their tour to Nigeria in May 2024. Wow, everybody looks good. I believe this is Andy Mundy Castle, I believe. Let me look. I'll check. But this is definitely Afua Hirsch, and she popped out at me. Look at her glow. They're all clearly having a good time. She looks fantastic. That's a beautiful dress, but she looks good. This might be the most beautiful I've ever seen her look. She's a beautiful person, but she just seems so, she has a glow. She has such a light about her, and it is so evident in this picture. She just is so fresh and free in this photo as well. Man, everybody seems like they're having a great time. They're very happy, but she looks stunning. Anyway, there's Misan Harriman looking amazing, clearly having a great night. And there's Prince Harry looking refreshed, handsome, debonair, and everybody looks their best. Looks like they're having a really good time. So let me confirm. Yep, that is Andy Mundy Castle, Afua Hirsch, Misan Harriman, and Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex. On Monday, Prince Harry was pictured smiling alongside Harriman while celebrating his longtime photographer's UK documentary release. The pair were also joined by filmmaker Andy Mundy Castle, as well as British writer and broadcaster Afua Hirsch, in one snap that was shared by Watermelon Pictures on Instagram. I've never heard of Watermelon Pictures. Prince Harry's spokesperson told People of Harry, quote, he was at last night's premiere to support his good friend Misan and his brilliant new film, Shoot the People. The spokesperson added on Tuesday, July 7th, that the Duke of Sussex was in good form last night after he arrived in the UK on Monday afternoon. He's really happy to be back in the UK and really looking forward to the week's engagements, they continued to People. A closer look at the four of them. They all look so happy and look like they're having a good time. But something I will say, I would have loved to see Meghan in this photo. I'm not going to make it about that, but anyway, I wish she could have been able to go. I wish she was safe enough to go. And my grudge against Charles and co. continues. Catherine Mayer, author of Divide and Rule, Royal Women and Their Battles, which features a chapter on Meghan, also attended the event but didn't see the prince. I'm not going to speculate too much on this book. I've already talked about it from a very objective point of view, and I also gave my opinion. But my instincts about these types of projects, for me, I'm not speaking for anyone else. Please, by all means, do what works best for you. But for me, I just don't get the best vibe about this book or any other that comes out that isn't explicitly endorsed by the Sussexes. If it is not endorsed by the Sussexes or written by the Sussexes, but it heavily includes the Sussexes, I'm not going to consume it. I just think I'm at that point where I'm like, I'd rather just revisit what they've already told us. I'd rather just revisit Sussex.com, and I would rather just visit, with what they're telling us now, being that they do communicate freely with us. And so I'd rather just focus on that and the now versus this. But I do see the benefit of a book like this because royal women do have a very unique battle. Meghan specifically had an extremely unique and intense and very harrowing experience. And I don't think that needs to leave the zeitgeist at all. That story needs to continue to be told, dissected, but also more needs to come from it. Change needs to come from it. Awareness needs to come from it. So I do see the value in books like this, but since my focus is mostly on what are the Sussexes up to now, that is where I choose to focus. I'm also just getting to a point, and maybe it's because I'm kind of nearing 40, just getting to a point where I'm losing my taste for tea. And by that, I just mean I don't mind knowing things and I don't mind dissecting things. By all means, I have a whole YouTube channel dedicated to it. But once it gets to a certain point, I'm just like, do I really need to know this? Do I need to talk about, once it comes from a place of just an interesting story or an important story to gossip, I just kind of steer clear. I'm kind of over it. And that's just a me thing. Again, no judgment to anyone else, but I gave it some thought. I even asked you guys how you felt about it and if you wanted me to cover the book. And most of you we're all in alignment. We kind of been moving in one way on this channel, at least, of will it help anything? It doesn't sound that interesting. I'd rather just talk about what Harry and Meghan are up to now. And that's where I've landed on it. I'm not surprised that she didn't really see the prince. What would they have to talk about? Harry and Meghan get books written about them and movies written about them, or not movies, but articles written about them, channels dedicated to, there's a lot of people covering them as content. If they met every one of us, they would be busy. They would have a receiving line 40 miles long of people who talk about them and dissect them, and especially parlay that into content. So I don't see anything wrong with I don't see anything wrong with Prince Harry not meeting with her for what? Anyway, it appeared to be a casual evening, and in stark relief to the controversy about where Harry might be staying and the security issues he faced that had preceded his arrival. I'm so sorry. That sentence is interestingly worded. It just beat me down. Mayer told People, quote, "This was the inverse of a typical royal event, no red carpet, tickets available to the public, and no hints in advance of special guests. The only advertised star attractions were the subjects of the film, Harriman, and the activists he documents. That's probably for the best." Harry's outing came after People confirmed that Harry was back in his home country, once again without Meghan and their children, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet. He said to it, first of all, I want to pause there. I don't think I've ever focused on the kids' names that much, but they have the cutest names. I don't think I've ever talked about, I've never really I've paid attention, but I don't think I've ever voiced my opinion on their names. They have the most adorable names. They have such cute names, and I would love to see their names on Disney characters, like a little prince and a little princess in a Disney movie. They just have the cutest little names. Okay, anyway. He's set to attend a week of appearances linked to some of his long-standing charities, including the one-year countdown festivities to the 2027 Invictus Games in Birmingham. Someone told me I was saying it wrong. Someone said it was supposed to be Birmingham. Now, that is how we say Birmingham, Alabama, Birmingham, which is actually one of my favorite places to visit. Birmingham. But when I used to say it that way, someone was like, Birmingham is Alabama, Birmingham is in the UK. And so I adjusted because I was like, shoot, I don't have a British accent. So help me out here, y'all. I barely tackle English, okay? Or American English, okay? So when I'm corrected and I'm like, oh, well, shoot, I want them to know what I'm talking about. Then I got some comments. I was like, you need to be pronouncing ham in all caps. And I'm like, y'all told me it was Alabama. Now stop redirecting me in the wrong direction. Somebody tell me right. Are there any English teachers from the UK or any English professors from the UK who can tell me with confidence how to say Birmingham? Because I'm going to be there. And I don't want to be there walking up with my 10-gallon and my boots with the spurs on them, possibly riding a burro, depending on what they let me bring on the plane. Sorry, I just got a visual. With my pigtails. And I walk up in my flannel and I'm like, here I am in Invictus Games 2027, Birmingham, English. And y'all run me out of there. I don't want y'all calling your redcoats on me. Y'all know me and Charles already got beef. So I don't want to be there and be the only one saying, oh, I'm having so much fun in Birmingham. I don't want to be the one. Tell me if I'm saying it right or if I'm saying it wrong. Is it Birmingham? Because I adjusted last year. And now y'all tell me to adjust back. Tell me what to do and don't trick me. Be good to me. Anyway, if any of you have social media presence and can do it on video, even better. Tag me. Before Harry's arrival in the UK, he spent some time vacationing in Europe with Meghan and their children. After initially announcing that the couple would bring their 2 kids back to the UK for their first visit since 2022, People learned on Saturday, July 4th, that Harry's wife and children would not accompany him to London. No decision has yet been made on whether the family will join Harry for other parts of his visit outside the capital city. Y'all know what would be so clutch is if Meghan was right there in the hotel with a ball cap on, having a good time in London, but nobody knows that she and the kids are there, so they're able to actually enjoy themselves. But there would be no way to do that because they know if the family caught wind that she was there, if their team somehow accidentally let that slip, that the first thing the firm would do was leak that. So I doubt that's the case, but wouldn't that be so clutch if she was just chilling in her penthouse suite and was like, oh, I am in the UK, but then your business. Anyway, I just can't wait for the day where she and her children are able to go wherever the hell they want to, and they are safe enough to do that. I feel like we keep deviating from the fact that it's crazy that they're not safe in the UK of all places. That's crazy. We should be more angry about that. Well, maybe I'm not. We should all be angrier about that. Maybe that's the case. We should all be paying attention to the fact that, yes, the security is of the utmost importance. But the reason the security is of the utmost importance is because the safety is not guaranteed. That is just so sad. Sometimes I feel like I'm always reckoning with the reality of the world we live in. And I'm like, damn, we live in some stark times. Goodness, it is 2026. And this woman is still getting racist threats and attacks and insults. And what a sad world we live in. The family's plans for the UK trip have been complicated by ongoing questions surrounding security. Harry and Meghan lost their automatic police protection in the UK after blah, 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 blah. People understands that a long-awaited review of Harry's security by the Executive Committee for the Protection of Royalty and Public Figures is still ongoing. They're going to ongo that until 2045. Watch. On Monday, people reported that an offer for the Duke of Sussex to stay at Buckingham Palace during his UK trip visit had been withdrawn shortly after the BBC first reported that he had accepted an invitation to stay at the royal residence during his visit. We actually talked about that yesterday. We discussed all of that. And we also discussed the quote from his spokesperson. In a nutshell, as I said, in the King Charles's agenda is going to backfire. His agenda is going to backfire. You can't treat someone like this, especially on such a public scale, and people not get pissed about it. And it's going to start impacting and impeding on King Charles. And once it starts inconveniencing Charles, once it starts putting I'm trying to be mindful of my words. Once people decide to voice their concerns in droves about how Charles is treating Harry and Meghan, he's going to realize exactly what he's done. Because every time he tries to undermine or cause harm or be a party to harm caused to Harry and Meghan, it only backfires on him. It only serves to undermine him. It shows how petty he is as an authority. It shows how petty he is as a king. It shows how petty he is as a quote unquote leader. And leaders, authorities, and kings should not be petty. They should be above that. They should be an example of integrity. They should be what people strive to be like. In my opinion, they should be an example of morality. But Charles lost that bet 4 decades ago. So I mean, good luck getting anybody's confidence back in you. But to show that after 4 decades, you still haven't changed. You are still the petty, small, half-dead man, like soulless cretin we've come to know you watched your first wife, an actual angel on earth, pass away as a direct result of you and your family's negligence. And at no point did you say, something should be done about this. I should change. I don't ever want this to happen again. You yourself, there's so many reports of things leaked directly from the royal family about how much Charles liked Meghan. Yet you put her through this? Couldn't have liked her that much. You walked that woman down the aisle, and a few short months later, a year later, whatever, you were willing to let her die because of your pettiness? You were willing to let harm befall her? How could you walk arm in arm with someone to the tune of that beautiful music, hand her off to her own husband, her new husband, your actual son? This is now your daughter too. You didn't lose a son, you gained a daughter. You watched them. You were part of that. You were engaged with that. When you met her, you were enamored with her, as was everyone else. This is your family. And now, a few short years later, you're willing to let her potentially be harmed over pettiness? One might say a person like that can't love. A person like that can't build attachments. A person like that can't connect with someone and see family for what it is and what it should be. You're too small to understand the gravity of what you're doing. And if you're too small to understand the gravity of what you're doing and the impact of your petty actions, then you should be nobody's king. You're willing to let harm befall your own son. You're willing to let harm befall your own grandkids. But I keep coming back to every time I see that wedding footage and I see Meghan take his arm and that sweet little exchange. And then later down the aisle, when he hands her off to Harry and Harry says, "Thanks, Pa," that sweet moment where she, he obviously walked her down the aisle, and that was very nice of King Charles. But that could have just been Meghan's moment by herself. And she included Harry's family. She saw that as a moment to be one with the family. This is going to be, and has been, the most photographed and videoed bride of all time. If Meghan was there for attention and clout, there would have been no one else walking down that aisle with her. Trust and believe. She could have easily said, "This is about to be my moment and my moment alone," and she would have been well within her rights. But everyone knew the gravity of this moment, this history-making moment, the most viewed bride of all time. And she included her husband's family. And Charles accepted when she asked. This could have been such a beautiful moment of unity, and for a minute there, it was. How could you have all of that? How could you go through all of that? How could you be a symbol for all of the things that people were so hopeful for in that moment, only to turn around and be the very things that regressed not only people globally, but here in America, we've seen a stark regression since certain people took leadership here. But how could you also be a symbol of that when the very person you claim to like so much and think was a great fit for your son, et cetera, and enjoy talking about music for hours with and want to be part of the planning process and happily accepted and was touched by the request to walk her down the aisle. You had all these special, sentimental, loving moments, especially regarding the union of Meghan and your son. And you could sit there and stand by and even facilitate circumstances that could actually end fatally for her. That to me, that's the kind of stuff that gives me trust issues. Like, I have trust issues anyway. I've seen how quickly people can turn. But when you really dissect moments like that, like, how could you walk somebody down the aisle only to be passive about the potential of them being harmed? Is nothing sacred anymore? And I think that's really what it is. I think I'm reckoning or I'm growing up and reckoning with reality that some shit is just not sacred for people. That's sacred to me. That's important to me. When I got married and I asked my granddaddy to facilitate my vows, he was my officiant. I did that on purpose. There were several people that I considered, but I said I would not want anyone to officiate my wedding than my granddaddy. Not only is he the best pastor I know, if you can rate that kind of thing, but y'all know I'm biased because he's my granddaddy. He's my pastor. He's my granddaddy. He's passed on. But he's always been a great example of what marriage should look like. The way he treated my grandmother, the way he was just so devoted to her. And even in death, he returned to her. I wanted that kind of energy hovering over my marriage. I wanted that energy welcoming me into this union because they know how to do it. They've been a great example of what it is. And so those moments matter to me. That matters to me. All that stuff was intentional. So to see Charles walk her down the aisle, this beautiful moment of unity where she could have had all the attention on herself. She could have asked anybody to walk her down the aisle if she wanted to. She said, I want to share this moment with my new father-in-law. And being that she had just lost her father, what a beautiful moment. And I'm sure probably very hopeful for Meghan. I'm sure that was a good moment of like, wow, I may have lost a dad, but look what I'm gaining. Another soul to love me in that paternal way. Only for him to let her down as well. Charles, I don't have enough words in the English language to share how much disdain I have for you in this moment. But I focus so much on how disappointed I am and how he's treated Harry. And I have a whole series of how disappointed I am and how he's treated Diana. But talking about Meghan and what that relationship really could have been and what that relationship probably meant to her and how he also took it upon himself to let her down, it's just... it could have all been so different, couldn't it? And all he needed was just a pinch of integrity. Anyway, it's wonderful to see that Prince Harry is not letting that monkey stop his show. He said, my daddy can act a fool all he wants to. Life goes on. Harry is continuing to show that all hope is not lost for the royals because we have one royal man who still has integrity. He is carrying the strength of character for the whole family on his back. He's doing a wonderful job. I'll say that. But I will say it's a shame. God, wouldn't it be great if they could meet him there? If he could have the type of support that he gives to the world. And he has that with his own family, with Meghan and the children. He has all the support he needs. But it would be wonderful if all of his relatives were decent people and could pour back into him as well. Especially since he alone is carrying their family legacy. He and his wife alone are carrying his family legacy. Anyway, it's wonderful to see Prince Harry had a great time. And it's also wonderful to see how refreshed and happy he looks. He said, I'm not about to stress about these people. Y'all are not about to give me wrinkles so I can end up looking half dead like y'all. No, I'm American now. I'm surfing now. I get massages. I have fun with my wife. I live in the sun. I pick oranges from my backyard. I am barefoot 98% of the time. I have kids who actually love me. And I have kids that I actually take care of. They don't come around the bend every 4 weeks and are surprised that I'm growing a beard because they haven't seen me for a while. No shade. Harry's actually a hands-on dad, a hands-on husband. We saw them exchange that beautiful set of penguins. His life is filled with love. This petty bullshit is probably just par for the course with dealing with his relatives. But how many of us can say that, right? We build happy, healthy lives outside of the matrix, but every time we have to tap back in with those people, we're reminded of why we left in the first place. Charles, you're just reminding Harry of why he got out the first time. So anyway, Harry, have a good time. I hope the rest of his engagements are just as fun and beneficial and exciting and clearly refreshing as this one. And I look forward to covering all of them, whether the royal family is included in them or not, preferably not. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Y'all let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And please don't forget to share with me in the comment section how to pronounce Birmingham in the UK, not Birmingham, Alabama. How do you pronounce Birmingham? Birmingham. How is it pronounced? As an American, what would be the best way for me to go about that? So I'm not sticking out like a big ass country thumb when I get there. And also, please let me know what is your routine for getting back into your body? What is your refresh routine? How do you get grounded? How do you bring out the best in you? What do you do? Let me know. That's all I have for y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Members, you're getting a new video. I have something on my heart that I want to talk about, and we're going to get into it today. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.